We start by telling you that the Youth Rights Campaign has slammed President Bola Tinubu's administration for what it described as escalating attacks on free speech and democratic rights across Nigeria. The group also demanded the immediate release of Take It Back movement protesters arrested in Abuja, Yobe, Delta, and other parts of the country during a protest against Cybercrime Act, emergency rule in Rivers State, among others, on Monday. In a statement signed by the group's National Secretary, Francis Nwakpa, the YRC condemned the use of force by security agencies against peaceful protesters. Nwakpa accused the government of descending into authoritarianism since taking office, citing attacks on freedom of speech and others through the use of law enforcement and the judiciary. To share more insights on this, we're joined by the National Secretary, Youth Rights Campaign, Francis Nwakpa. Mr. Nwakpa, thank you so much for joining us on the news this afternoon.
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, yes, fantastic. We can hear you now. So I'd like you to provide more details about the conditions under which the protesters were arrested in Abuja, Yobe, and Delta states.
Well, okay. Just like you're aware, yesterday, members of the TIB organized a protest yesterday, and a whole lot of crisis erupted even prior to the protest, where the states began to panic and began to issue out a warning for protesters not to come out. We have gotten to a point where protests has become more threatening to the ruling elite than even kidnappers and ravaging herdsmen. Yesterday protesters were, tear gassed yesterday in Abuja and also in Port Harcourt, and a couple of arrests were made both in Abuja and Yobe. However, these protesters have been released after intervention of comrades and due to the pressure that was mounted on the states.
So then how do you now respond to the government's claim that these protests were disruptive and probably pose a security threat to the country?
We must also trace this back. The APC regime has taken the human rights standard in Nigeria to an unprecedented level, where people no longer have the ability to express themselves openly. So this excuse of police has become, it's another trend where they discourage people from coming out to express themselves. As you are aware, this right to protest is enshrined not just in Nigerian constitution, but also bodies, treaties where Nigeria, is signatory to. And so at every time where people want to come out and express themselves, express their anger and frustration over the policies of the government, you see the police coming out to tell you you cannot protest. Even while our organization was not even a part of the organizations that organized the protest yesterday, but the state felt threatened. I got a call from the DSS in Abuja, on Friday, asking us to shelve the protest. And the question I put to him was, do you also call terrorists and kidnappers this way to tell them to stop kidnapping? Why is the state threatened by at every point where people want to come out and express themselves? And we want to use this to appeal, this opportunity to appeal to the rank and file Nigerian police. You are also going through what every other Nigerians are going through. We are appealing to you that when such orders are given to you to shoot at protesters, don't follow these orders. These are your brothers and sisters, because when you retire, you're also coming back to face the crisis, including the one you're facing right now. And so this also demonstrates why we have also, as socialists, we have also maintained the stand that there is need for the police to have its own union. where they will be able to defend themselves, where they will be able to speak up against others, given to them to shoot at protesters and to go against their constitutional responsibility.
Well, it seems as though the Youth Rights Campaign also has issues with the Cyber Crime Act, but then critics would argue that it is actually necessary to protect national security and prevent online abuses. What's your reaction to that?
Yeah, well, yes, it's not just about, we all are, we are not, every Nigeria is a victim of every wrong policy that is made by the ruling elite. Don't forget that it's not just about the Cybercrime Act. Don't forget that just last year, the current Speaker of the House of Assembly, Tajudeen Abbas, tried to smuggle in the counter subversion bill, which is also to continue to stifle dissenting voices on social media. Recently, Senator Ned Nwoko, was pushing for a bill where bloggers, anybody that is into media, would have an office, would be compelled to have an office. These are not just bills that are made for the interest of the people. These bills are also made, and they are made to continue to put a hold on dissenting voices, so that nobody comes to speak. And that's the more reason why, even at our own organization, we recognize the right, whatever organization, whatever individual that want to participate, that want to organize a protest, that right is enshrined, is inalienable, and the police must not clamp down on protesters. It is a right that we fought for during the military dictatorship, and we cannot allow this regime to take away this right. Unfortunately, this is a regime that the president, the man at the head of affairs, participated in protests during the military junta. And today, such a person has decided to clamp down on any dissenting voices, whether you are on social media, on the street, or wherever, as long as you speak against the government. Yesterday, someone was also arrested in Bauchi State for speaking against the government. And so this happened on a daily basis, and we must all come out, to condemn it, or else, the media, and not just the Nigerian people, but the media also, become, a larger victim of all of this.
Finally, before I let you go, Francis, you're clamoring for the government to take decisive steps to protect citizens' rights. I'd like to find out if the clamp down on protesters continues in Nigeria, what do you think the youths can do properly, legally, to ensure that the rights of people are not infringed upon while they continue to advocate for a better country? Are there alternatives?
For me, I think it is clear. Historically, when you look at it historically till now, when those in government continue to clamp down on dissenting voices, you are forcing the people to go illegally. And what that means? It means that we are creating anarchy in our society. That right must be respected. People have the right. Even currently in the United States of America, people are protesting against the Trump administration for its support for Israel in what is going on in Gaza. And so this right must be respected in Nigeria. And as long as things continue to get worse, as of today, people cannot feed. The feeding has become a problem. As of today, our healthcare is not working. You can imagine. You watch the video. That was circulating on social media, where a woman lost her life because the husband could not pay 500,000 naira. Why the president of our country is going on medical terrorism in France? This happened in Lagos, which is supposed to be the so-called center of excellence, where we cannot afford to have a decent healthcare service. That a woman lost her life, a pregnant woman had to lose her life because the government could not put in place free qualitative healthcare service. These are the kind of issues that make people to continue to be on the street. And so our position is that as long as these issues persist, the people will always come out to be on the street. The people will always push some of these neoliberal policies back. And in a case where the people, get tired of all of this, definitely it might result to a spontaneous protest across Nigeria, where there won't even be an NLC leadership to lead it, where you want to go and perhaps witch hunt or bribe somebody. It might become a spontaneous protest across the country.
All right, Francis.
And it might lead to something else. So government must stop this attack on democratic rights.
All right, thank you so much, Francis Mwakwa, for sharing your thoughts with us on the news. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Civil rights activist Omoyele Sowore has been adjourned to June 24, 2025. This follows the appearance of a prosecution witness presented by the counsel to the Inspector General of Police. The witness, a superintendent of police attached to the force headquarters, told the court he has been monitoring Sowore's social media activities since December 2024. According to him, Sowore repeatedly referred to the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, as an illegal IGP. Counsel to Sowore requested an adjournment to allow time for cross-examination of the witness. The presiding judge, Justice Musa Liman, granted the application and adjourned the matter to June 24 for continuation of trial.
Their witness for 10 minutes said, "Oh, we saw a social media post that says the IG is illegal." That's all. And they asked him to go and monitor that. Muyiwa asked him to go and be monitoring my post. Is it a crime to post on social media that an IG that has already expired is illegal? He's occupying the office illegally. That was why the judge himself was saying, "Why don't we respond?" But we are not here to respond. We have told him this is all rubbish. This case ought not to have come before a court, but we know what they are doing. They are all in bed together. The judiciary, the police, the legislative arm of Nigeria, they are all in bed together to deny our people justice. How can anybody have confidence in the judiciary? Don't you know that this same court here tried me for 5 years for treason, an offense that I never committed, and one day they came to court and said, "We are sorry." They didn't even say we are sorry. They withdrew the charges after 5 years. But they wasted 5 years of my life. They detained me in this Abuja by a court order for 3 years. 3 years. Received my passport for 5 years. That is the same thing they are doing now. So how can I have confidence in the court that I couldn't tell at that time, at the beginning of that farcical trial, that this was improper? The judge should have known that there's no case here. He should have thrown the case out from day one.
Many thanks for staying with us. We tell you that the Nigeria Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers, NUPENG, and the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, PENGATSN, of the Nigeria National Petroleum Company Limited Group Executive Council have expressed concerns over the recent filling of top management position with externally recruited personnel. President Bola Tinubu last Tuesday sacked the entire 11-person board of the NNPCL and replaced the chief executive, Mele Kyari, with a former Shell executive, Bashir Ojulari. Ojulari previously served as managing director of Shell's Nigeria Deepwater Exploration and Production Unit. He was most recently chief operating officer of Renaissance Africa Energy, the consortium that bought Shell's Nigeria onshore division. The new board will be led by Ahmadu Musa Kida, a former Total executive. However, in a letter addressed to the NNPCL Chief Human Resources Officer, NUPENG and PENGATSN say they cannot accept or support the recruitment of senior and management staff from outside the company. So to discuss some more on this, we're joined by the National Industrial Officer of PENGATSN, Dr. Ifeanyi Eze. Thank you so much, Comrade, for joining us on the news.
Thank you for having me.
So let's have a better understanding. What does the externally recruited personnel for NNPCL top management positions, why does it actually bother PENGATSN and NUPENG?
We all know that in every organization or any system, you have a means of filling in top positions. Usually, when there are spaces up, the people below fill up those spaces. But what we've been having all this while in an NPC, now an NPCL, is that when the topmost person is changed, he comes in and bring other people from outside to fill up those top management positions. And these have been going on. It was actually very bad during Kachuku's regime. And at the end of the day, the people that have been in the system and that they're working, they've been learning how the system runs, actually running the organization, we remain stagnant, including our members. Because if the people above them are not moving, they won't move. That is our concern.
So by your own evaluation, do you have issues with the experience and competence of the new recruits for the job assigned to them?
We don't have issues with that. We are not the person recruiting them, so we can't even say. But what I'm saying, even from the organizations they are coming from, by the time that we are there, they fill up those organizations to where before they retire, because some of them are even retired before they retire. Now, within us, within the organization, which is an NPCL, we have competent people. We have people that are very good, efficient in the work they are doing. So why don't you give them that opportunity, that chance? Why leave them?
Comrade Isaac, are you still there?
We know what administration is all about. Administration is not the main job. The people doing the job, when they are due for promotion, they should be duly promoted.
But then, Comrade Isaac, there is no written or unwritten law that actually stipulates or mandates the president to choose within the fold, that is internal staff members for this position. And if the president is looking at competence, same competence you are talking about, why does it bother so much about having to look inwards rather than look at the portfolio of those that he feels can deliver the job?
Yeah, in everything we do in life, there should be equity. When you do things and there is no equity, it doesn't work again. So people can keep on filling in the spaces with their cronies, friends, and associates, using those positions to say thank you for whatever. Because if we continue like that, then the system will definitely die. That's our concern. And again, our members won't get the promotion. So at this point in time, we are saying that we aren't going to take that again. We will stand firm and say, look, we have competent people. They've done it in the past. They should be allowed to do the job.
So you are accusing the president of nepotism and favoritism in this appointment?
This even goes beyond the president. Like I've never mentioned that the president appointing the CEO is a problem to us. But we are looking at those they've appointed. What do they do next? They even recruit to the extent of a managerial position. So the question is, why would that be the issue? They shouldn't. Nobody is accusing the president of nepotism. He definitely should fill up the position with the people he feels are competent. But what we are saying is that those that are coming should not now fill up all the managerial position with their people, and they're leaving the workers. And that's the position of the Nupenga Pengas. You must have seen our releases, both from the group, that's about 11 branches of Pengasin in an NPCL, including Nupeng, and the central bodies of the two organizations.
All right, so if you do not accept or support the recruitment of these senior management staff from outside the company, knowing the kind of president that you have, what is the next line of action for the associations?
Well, if I may say too that I know the president we have is a listening president. I think he should allow a voice of reasoning and consider what we are saying and think along. But if that is not done, we are a pressure group and we have our strengths. We know what to do. We know our role, for instance, as Pengassin and Ipeng, as regards to the oil industries in Nigeria. If it gets to an extent that we can't condone it, we do the needful, and we know when a union or an association says you're going to do the needful, we know what the needful is all about.
Credited to Pengassin, Comrade Eze, I want to quote, now, if this warning is ignored, we cannot guarantee the continuation of industrial harmony within NNPC Limited. That's a statement credited to Pengassin. So does it mean that we are looking at probably industrial action or maybe efforts to actually frustrate the leadership within the company?
Of course, we are not going to frustrate the leadership of the industry, but if we say we want to withdraw our services due to the injustice that is presented, that is meted out to us, well, fine. It's within our rights to withdraw our services, for instance. But of course, we're not going to cause any other problem, but just to say, okay, fine. If you say we are not competent and we are not competent to be promoted, well, then let's sit at home or fold our hands and see how the system will work.
Finally, all right, Comrade Eze, finally, before I let you go, now earlier on you said this recruitment of senior management staff outside of the NNPCL fold has been a recurring trend. That means it's been habitual. Now, when you look at NNPCL for over the years, would you say that its vision has been derailed or its purpose has been skewed, looking at the kind of people that have actually manned the company over the years?
Well, we are all in this country. We've seen and we know what's been happening in the country. We've known how an NPC, till now an NPCL has been run, and we still believe that if you allow it, if you allow the people that have been that have gone through the tutelage of that organization, that have learned the ropes to occupy those positions, I think we should have and we will have a better result.
All right, thank you so much, Comrade Ifeanyi Eze, for sharing your thoughts with us.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, you're welcome. Let's talk security now. The Chief of Army Staff in Nigeria, Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluyede, has restated the commitment of the Nigerian Army to ensure the safety of both the lives and property of Nigerians. The Army boss was speaking at a stakeholders engagement when he visited Bokos local government area, which recently experienced a series of violent attacks that claimed many lives and left properties destroyed. News Central's Chizobanyowe was on his entourage and now tells us more.
On his first official visit to the plateau, the Chief of Army Staff's arrival seems to bring a sense of hope for peace in Plateau State. At this stakeholders' engagement, following the recent deadly attacks in Bokos, Lieutenant General Oluyede says measures are in place to restore security on the plateau.
There are some issues that need to be resolved, politically, because we can't rely permanently on kinetic approach to issues. So with that, I'm going to meet the governor of the state and deliberate with him to see how we can resolve these issues politically. I'm going to bring in more men, but the underlying factor has to be addressed, because even if you deploy the entire Nigerian Army in Plateau State, if the underlying factors are not addressed, we can't achieve much.
The General Officer Commanding 3 Division and Commander of Operation Safe Haven, Major General Folusho Oyinlola, gave assurances that those behind the attacks will not go unpunished.
Let me make it unequivocally clear that any further attacks on innocent civilians, destruction of property, or acts of lawlessness will be decisively dealt with. Operation Safe Haven, alongside other security agencies, will not stand idly beside and watch criminal elements destabilize our communities.
For the people of Bokos, nothing will bring them more joy than to have their demands of having more military personnel on the ground.
A lot has been said we need more personnel. But before that, I have to commend the security personnel, those that involved in safeguarding the lives of people in our various communities.
With over 1,000 victims of these incidents that have been relocated to internally displaced people's camps, their prayer is that everything possible is done by stakeholders to take them back to their ancestral homes as soon as possible. From Bokos local government area of Plateau State for News Central, Chizoba Anyonwe.
In a related development, 2 people have reportedly been killed amidst escalating tensions over a land ownership dispute between Ejekota-Ogo and Ewu communities in Ugeli North and Ugeli South local government area of Delta State, south of Nigeria. Viral pictures show that local government chairman Jaro Edo has visited the hospitals where the injured youths are being treated. As reported by a community source, the land ownership issue between the parties is a matter currently at the High Court in Jeremy, with both parties required to appear in court on April 10. Meanwhile, Adjourned Robo community in Okere Robo Kingdom, Warri South local government area of Delta State has called on the Delta State government and relevant authorities to wade into a communal crisis that is rocking their community. They accused Ishakiri youths of setting one of their houses on fire and destroying other property worth millions of naira. News Central correspondent Austin Azu was on ground to monitor the development and Warri spoke to a cross-section of the community and our reports.
This is how the people living in this house at Adjourned Robo community in Okere Robo Kingdom, Warri South local government area of Delta State, saw their livelihoods and property being reduced to ashes on Sunday evening. Lucky Jari and Susan Iona, who reside in the Bonds house, share their own deal.
As we just enter us, you know, children just go back with my woman. I just make a pull my shirt. I just pull my shirt. We told liquor when I hear. Now once night be when I see. Now all my children they enter inside us. If I know they don't set fire for the place, I won't come outside. I look as if I come outside, maybe the bullet fit touch my children and my woman and myself. I saw me they wait. I saw me never come outside. The fire is just started catching. It never catch go far. So me they wait. So the fire not is strong. In not tonight they come out. Now they come outside. As I come outside, now come carry my children to come outside. Even the gates the fire don't cover. I saw we come outside. One thing for my house, I not feel safe. Only the liquor when I wear. Both my woman and nakedness, my children, everybody that nakedness they take more for the house.
Before from store, around that kind 7:30, make I close. Now I hear gunshot. Ooh, I saw make at the corner house. Now I begin work at the corner house. Before I reach back there, now one boy tell me, say, Mama, they don't put fire for your house. That's how they come.
The Community Youth Secretary, Hope Okboge, and others provide detailed accounts of how the attack was carried out by allegedly Ishakiri youth.
Our king coronation banner, when we put for the Robo community, Abraham and some other Shekiri people carry a motto, come with community for broad daylight, go carry king banner, of which Robo never ever done that to any Shekiri community once. Say we see their banner for their place, we can go remove them.
Before the incident, the chairman of the local government was called upon that we are under threat. He did not send any security personnel here to avert these issues. And we've been having this issue for quite some time now. And he always coming that I'm going to look into it. He's not looking into the issues before he generated to this. You can see with me some of the live ammunition, the Shakiri boys, during their shooting, it fell from their gun. These people are well armed.
On behalf of the Warri South Council Chairman, the councillor represented the community reacted to the incident.
I think that is a fallacy. As a council and the chairman I know would not subscribe to such. The position of the council is to maintain peace at all times. and we've been neutral on the situation. So whoever that has told you that the chairman is sponsoring such is actually trying to blackmail the chairman for no reason.
George Bekefa, a tricycle operator who narrowly escaped death, shared his harrowing experience from the hospital bed, even as other aggrieved Urobo youth call for justice and peace in the area.
The boys are too many, so no need. If you say I come down for the keke run before, now me for your shoot direct, but I did the keke now, so you shoot the keke, and you someone see. So thank God say enough of raising hand, come up. You say raising hand, come up safe, maybe now my head or anywhere for touch. Now the sofa just now.
So concerned individuals in Warri have called on the Delta State government to prevail on the ongoing Cold War between the Shekiris and the Urobos in Warri to avert a repeat of the 1999 to 2002 Warri crisis. In Warri for News Central, Austin Azu.
Now, following the destruction of a floor of a two-story building on Ngwa Road, Aba, recently by fire, Governor Alex Otti is demanding to know why the fire service outfits could not respond promptly to the disaster. Governor Otti, who visited the fire scene and commiserated with the victims, also say the situation could have been managed better with fire extinguishers if they were available. News Central's Chumel reports.
This is number 73 Lagos Street off Ngwa Road, Aba, where fire gutted the second floor of this two-story building with property worth millions of naira destroyed.
After 10 to 11, when I came in very late, I was eating before I heard a shout from the person living here, the wife, shouted, "Fire, fire, fire, fire." Then I dropped my food behind my neck, come out, and then I see smoke. Everywhere was covered with smoke.
A nursing mother, Ugochobi, and husband, Obina, who are still in shock of the devastation, give account of their experience.
And the money that I left inside my room, everything gone. No saying both my mother's phone.
The time they come in the night after 11, I from there, carry leg, come out to Umeka Junction. I carry drop because find they come back here, take one more finish.
Charity Uche is a grandmother who was visiting for the traditional Omogo in her daughter's home, who recently welcomed a new baby, but unfortunately witnesses such tragedy. The landlord of the building, Vincent Uzuebu, says efforts were made to contact the fire service for intervention, but were disappointed when they could not be reached on phone. Upon visit to the scene of the fire, Governor Alex Otti expresses disappointment at the inability of the relevant body to save the situation and orders the Homeland Security to carry out an investigation to ascertain the cause of the inferno.
Spent a lot of money to keep them adopted the vehicle. In the past, they have responded very, very quickly and efficiently.
He directs that henceforth there will be enforcement of having a fire extinguisher in every household in the state to reduce the impact of fire when it occurs. While commiserating with the victims, he assures of government's support in securing accommodations for them to reduce the effect of the loss. While government insists on making residents have fire extinguishers, there's need to also ensure that when they procure them, they are put through on how to use them in times of need. In Omar here for News Central, Chinwe Ugele.
Away from that, the founder of the defunct Diamond Bank PLC and former chairman of MTN Nigeria, Pascal Dozie, has passed away at the age of 85. A statement from his family confirmed that the business tycoon died in the early hours of today. Born on April 9, 1939 in Owerri, Imo State, Dozie played a key role in Nigeria's banking and telecom sectors. He founded Diamond Bank in 1990 and was the pioneer chairman of MTN Nigeria, playing a crucial part in the country's telecom revolution. Dozie's leadership, humility, and integrity earned him widespread recognition including the national honor of the Commander of the Order of the Niger. He is survived by his wife and 5 children. In Africa, Algeria has recalled its ambassador to Mali and closed its airspace to Malian planes amid a diplomatic row over the alleged shooting down of a drone that has heightened tensions between the neighbors. In response, Mali also closed its airspace to planes going to or from Algeria until further notice. Algiers also recalled its ambassador to Niger in a retaliatory move after the 2 countries, along with Burkina Faso, withdrew their ambassadors over the drone incident. The 3 military-run African allies jointly announced the ambassador's recall on Sunday. Mali had accused Algeria of downing one of its drones over its territory last week. South Sudan on Monday urged Washington to discuss a decision by the Trump administration to revoke all visas for South Sudanese passport holders, saying they had consistently obeyed immigration laws. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said on Sunday that Juba was taking advantage of the United States, complaining that South Sudan was not accepting its nationals expelled from the United States. It was the first of such measures singling out all passport holders from a particular country since Donald Trump returned the White House in January, having campaigned on an anti-immigration platform. South Sudan's Foreign Affairs Ministry said the country was facing a broad revocation of visas based on an isolated incident involving misrepresentation of an individual who is not a South Sudanese national. From other continents, China has vowed to fight to end after President Donald Trump threatened new tariffs of 50% on Chinese goods. This marks a dangerous escalation in the trade war, which has already caused massive global market losses. Despite mounting economic pressure, Trump has ruled out pausing his aggressive trade policy. In response, Beijing announced its own 34% duties on U.S. imports, set to take effect on Thursday. Trump warned of further levies if China retaliates, potentially pushing tariffs on Chinese goods to a staggering 104%. In business, on the current administration of President Bola Tinubu, Nigeria has so far seen new records in power generation. Early last month, Nigeria achieved a record power generation of 6,003 megawatts, the highest in the nation's history. In spite of this, the outgoing president of the African Development Bank, Akinwumi Adesina, has disclosed that Nigeria has the highest population of people living without electricity globally, translating to roughly 86 million Nigerians lacking access to the grid. Special Advisor Strategic Communications to the Minister of Power, Bolaji Tunji, and the former Lagos Commissioner for Energy Resources, Olaleru Dushote, speaking on News Central's television's program, Power and the People, shared insights on the efforts of government to make power more accessible.
Before the present administration got in, we were hovering around between less than 4,000 megawatts. The last time we had a celebration of a major issue like this was around 1984, when we had about 2,000 megawatts, and within that period to date, till this administration took over, we had about 4,000 megawatts. That's over 40 years to achieve 4,000 megawatts. But today, within less than 2 years of this administration, we have been able to do about 1.5.
What does that mean for us?
Yeah, all it means is that for the businesses and households in Nigeria, there will be more power available for them. You understand? Okay. And that is what people are experiencing now. You know, before now, it wasn't always like that. We had so many challenges, the economy had so many challenges, but today, these are gradually being reduced.
In sports, Team Bayelsa emerged overall champions of the inaugural Niger Delta Sports Festival in Uyo, Akwa Ibom, dominating with 42 gold, 29 silver and 15 bronze medals. Despite Delta State leading in total medals with 41 gold, 26 silver and 32 bronze, Team Bayelsa's performance proved unbeatable. Edo State finished third with 89 medals, including 23 gold, while Rivers State claimed fourth with 63 medals. The host state, Akwa Ibom, placed sixth. Bielsa's triumph is expected to inspire greater sports enthusiasm in the region as the states get to pocket 50 million naira for their outstanding performance at the inaugural event. This sets the bar high for future editions of the festival. And that's all at this hour. But before we go, we'll look at our top stories again. New Pengasin kick against external staff recruitment by NNPCL management. Court has set new date in Inspector General of Police defamation suit. We also told you airspace closures heighten Algeria-Mali tensions amid drone row. Don't forget to send your eyewitness report to the WhatsApp number on the screen. You can follow us on social media. We are at News Central TV, and you can equally watch us live on DSTV channel 422, GoTV channel 23, Star Times channel 274, Arvo TV, and YouTube. Many thanks for watching. I am Likon Onobanjo.